After winning their second preseason tournament of the season, the Highland Park Scots return home where one final pre-district challenge awaits. Good evening, everybody. So glad you could join us for another live broadcast of Highland Park Scots varsity basketball. My name is Brian Sutcliffe. I'm joined by my good friend, Coach David Clark. The Scotties bring their season-long four-game winning streak to the Highlander Fieldhouse floor tonight against another solid 5A non-district opponent, the Plano Wildcats. A little bit more about that matchup in just a moment. But, Coach, last weekend the Scots were coming off a 15-point beatdown by a very good McKinney squad in a game that might not have been as close as the score, and they found their footing in their annual trip to Burke Burnett.
Yeah, road, sweet road, right? They really did a good job went on this road trip, and playing in the Burke Burnett tournament has been a real good thing for them in the past, and it sure helped them this time. They went up there and won 4 games, and the good news was they got to see a lot of different styles of play. They got pressure defense. I could hear you. Yeah.
It will be the 11-3 Highland Park Scots against the 9-5 Plano Wildcats. Of course, two teams that don't play each other too much on the floor, although these teams did battle 2 seasons ago at the Avery Air Invitational, a game won by Plano 51-48. But, Coach Clark, these are two coaches that know each other very well.
They really do. Of course, Coach Peeler's roots go all the way back to Plano West, and this is kind of a coaching rivalry, if nothing else. I know you got to play someone a little more often than we play Plano to really create a real team rivalry, but this will be a great game, great matchup. They're very physical, very big and strong kids, so this will be a good test for the Scots.
We'll now go down to the floor for the public address announcer, the national anthem, and the introduction of the starting lineups.
Get through.
What's so
The Highland Park Scots are coached by David Peeler in his 7th season as Scots coach. David Peeler at 165 wins against only 45 defeats. His Scotties this season, 11 wins against only 3 defeats. Their starters, the point guard, number 3, Matt Frischella, a 5'10 senior. And the off guard is Matthew Kreitz, number 10, a 6'3 junior. The wings are number 2, Chase Fletcher, a 6'7 senior. And number 20, Will Miller, senior, 6'5". The post is the 6'5 junior, number 52, Clayton Murtha. The Plano Wildcats are coached by Phil Parlin. The Wildcats come into this game with a record of 9 wins against 5 losses. Coach Parlin spent the better part of 15 years here at Plano Senior High School. He was an assistant coach for the 2006 5A championship squad. He's in his 5th season as the head man. He is 62-71. Their starters, the point guard, number 2, Broderick Perkins, a 6'2 junior. At wing, number 25, Sheldon O'Neill, a 6-foot senior. At forward, number 1, Dustin Burkett, a 6'7 senior. At forward, number 15, Rayvon Smith, a 6'5 senior. And the post is number 40, Sam Tecklenburg, a 6'5 sophomore. The Scots in their home white move from left to right. And Fletcher tips it ahead to Murtha. The Scots have the opening possession. The 11-3 Scots against the 9-5 Plano Wildcats. Brian Sutcliffe with Coach David Clark. Glad you're here with us. A nice crowd's filed into the Highlander Fieldhouse. And Coach Chase Fletcher out there to start things off for the Scotties. We weren't sure he was going to be able to go tonight.
Well, Chase has been nursing a bad ankle for all week long, and we're glad to see him out there playing.
Kreitz, the team leader in steals, does it on the first Plano Wildcat possession of the day, but a good job by Sheldon O'Neill, the 6-foot senior. Number 25 knocked it out from behind, and the Scots will have to set things up. HP's offense this season averaging 55.9 points per game. They allow a paltry 47.1. Of course, the Scots allowed only 19 points in their final preliminary game against Randall as Will Miller strokes the long 2. The Scotties have the opening advantage. The 19 points allowed against Randall, the second fewest for a David Peeler coach squad at Highland Park, second only to the 16 they allowed against Royce City a few years ago.
You know, both these teams will mix it up on defense too. You'll have a lot of different looks from zone to man to a trapping 1-3-1 too. So we'll see what they come up with as they change through the possession. Dustin
Burkett works with Rayvon Smith. Smith, a player who Coach Phil Parlin said has unbelievable potential. And the first points of the game for Plano scored by Broderick Perkins, but quickly coming the other way, the senior captain Chase Fletcher retaliates, and the Scots lead at 4-2. Fletcher averaging 13.6 points, 6.5 rebounds, and a couple of assists per game.
Well, nice answer in transition off of what could have been another steal.
Scots with a 2-point lead just over 30 seconds into the first quarter. Been a bit of a break for the Scots. They haven't played since the championship game of the Union Square Bulldog Classic in Burke Burnett, a game 1 against a 9-2 White House team as the 3-pointer was missed by Sheldon O'Neill. This is a team that can hit 3-pointers. They hit at 38% clip this season, but they have 5 games this year where they've shot at least 45% beyond the arc.
Frischella trying to hit Murtha on that. You know, Murtha had a great weekend up there at Burke, and he really kind of had a coming out party for him. So we'll see if he can build on that.
Frischella quickly into Miller. Coach Clark talked about the great weekend for Clayton Murtha. He'll get an assist right there to Chase Fletcher. Fletcher has 4, but the junior Clayton Murtha had 17 points and 9 rebounds, both career highs.
Did a real good job. The coaches were really bragging on him for that tournament. That whole weekend, he was really doing a great job as a big man in the middle.
Those big numbers in the tournament championship against White House, which the Scotties won 68-41. And Coach Clark, only one of those games, the second preliminary game against Wichita Falls, that was really even a contest.
Right, and White House is a good team, the team they played in the finals, so that was a good win.
Broderick Perkins has all 4 Plano points. He's averaging just under 10 points per game. And the Scots turn it over. O'Neill comes back the other way. Score the basket and the foul as Sheldon O'Neill has his first 2. We've got our first foul of the game.
Matt looked like he's in pretty good position on that, but just kind of moved there at the very end to have a block instead of drawing that charge.
Senior captain Matt Frischella's first, the team's first. Sheldon O'Neill, a 63% free throw shooter, has 3 points, and Plano has the lead as Fletcher has his shot blocked by Rayvon Smith.
A whole lot of body on that one. I don't know how that wasn't a foul. Turn.
Broderick Perkins whistled for cupping the basketball. Roderick Perkins pushed into starter's duty with the loss of TK Bitty, who was a senior guard for Coach Parlin's team, was expected to be a key contributor. He hasn't played a game this year. He's been out all year with an Achilles injury. Coach Parlin hopes to have him back soon. But Perkins has done a great job filling in for Bitty all season long. Chase will try to hit his second triple of the year. He can't hit it. Chase hit 23 pointers last year, and that element of his game just hasn't been there thus far this season.
And that's an element that's really been missing from the Scott offense, too. Andrew Barnes did a great job with that last year, catching that reversal.
O'Neal did a nice job creating space there, but he couldn't hit the little elbow jumper. Here comes Will Miller the other way. Kreitz, nice baseline, goes to the reverse.
Matthew's so good off the dribble. He can really attack the rim. Just got a great first step.
Averaged over 8 points per game in the tournament. He continues to be a strong player for the Scotties, averaging nearly 7 points per game. Burkett from the right wing. Missed that badly. 35% three-point shooters, hit 7 on the season coming into this one. He's the leading returning scorer, coach, for Plano at less than 4 points per game. There's Smith with his second block in the last couple of possessions, but Murtha fights hard for it. Throws it into the paint. The ball's on the ground and taken away by Plano. The Wildcats lost their top 6 scorers coming into this season from a team that went 6-22 last year.
Well, that hurts, too.
They went 1-13 in district and lost their final 16 games of the year.
Oh, my gosh.
From a squad that in 2006 won the 5A state championship.
You know, at Plano Senior High, you're going to deal with juniors and seniors mostly. So every year, I'm sure there's a graduation rate from the team of a lot of seniors. So it's almost like replacing your squad every year when you do that. And I know there's sophomore on the team, so that kid must be a pretty good player because it's complicated to get a sophomore over to Plano Senior High.
Frashilla to the wing for Fletcher. 4:30 left. Opening quarter. Scots lead at 8-7. A season-long 4-game winning streak for the Scotties. Bullet pass. This time it's Fletcher to Murtha.
That's that high reversal and the feed the post who's already come off the roll on the ball screen, and it's looks like it's there early.
Number 33, Alex James, a 6'7 junior in now for Plano. Rayvon Smith missed the shot, came all the way out to the top of the key for Frashilla. Finds the trailing Miller, tees up the 3 and puts it in. It's a long 2.
Long 2. Foot was on the line, but that's a great transition basket again by the Scots. Will Mill did not hesitate.
Miller now at 10 points per game. He didn't start until about game number 4 this year. But it's been outside shooting predominantly that's earned him a spot in the starting lineup.
Will can really stroke it when he gets going. He's a streak guy too.
Smith left side, missed it, offside board. There's Will Mill. Get some space cleared out by a screen in the backcourt by Murtha. Scots with a 5-point lead, 3:25 left. Only one foul been committed in the game. The Scots were looking for that low post entry from the wing by the big again. Frashilla tried to scoop it to the cutting Fletcher. Was intercepted by Jason Bargett, that player you mentioned. He's the sophomore on the team, and he can light it up as well, averaging nearly 9 points per game off the bench. Murtha commits the foul down on the block. It's the second against the Scotties, first on the big junior, Clayton Murtha.
Well, you hate to give up a little touch foul like that and down on the block.
We'll say hi to a trio of fresh Scotties. Number 32, the senior captain, Matt Wilson. Number 44, junior Derek Kahn. And number 11, junior Jake Stegenga.
Matt got all of Chase's reps this week, so we'll see how that comes out on the court. So this should be good.
And there's TK Bitty, the player who's been out all season with an Achilles injury. Looks like he's making his return tonight. Number 5, only 5'9", but this is a player that the Scotties, or excuse me, that the Wildcats expect a lot from this year.
It's good at board again. Nice block out by Will Miller, and he comes up with a rebound and draws the foul.
Fouls against Sheldon O'Neal, his first, Wildcats first. 2:50 left first quarter. Scots lead the Wildcats of Plano 12-7. Stegenga was fouled by Bitty, about 45 feet from the basket.
Well, as a coach, you just hate those. We had a couple of those in the earlier game, and it drives you crazy.
Looked like Biddy did see some action in the Wildcats win on Tuesday against the Colony, which might be their best win of the season, 57-54. The Colony's traditionally a pretty strong team, and they've got another one this year. Miller tried to float it off the glass. He missed it. Here come the Cats. Low post entry. Alex James found some space, missed it. Rebound, Derek Kahn.
I think Derek got a little piece of that. Matt had good position inside.
Kahn had 4 blocks in the win over Wichita Falls last week. Little fall away, jumper, Derek Kahn.
That's what returned a little bit over the weekend too. Derek hitting some outside shots too.
Kahn's 4 block game was against Plainview. It was the Wichita Falls game where he stroked 3 key 3-pointers in the third quarter. They got the Scotties going in that one. Pretty baseline move there by Sheldon O'Neal, but he couldn't hit the floater. Scots lead it by 7. Here comes Fraschilla. They'll slam on the brakes on the wing. Find Kahn, steps into an open 3. Off the back iron, rebound. Number 3, David Griffith, the 6'2 junior, who's checked in for Coach Parlin. Biddy used that forearm to create space, battling with Stiganga, and he's picked up 2 quick fouls.
Good on-the-ball defense by Jake that time. Boy, he really got in his face. That's great to see.
If you had to have a free throw shot in this game, that'll bring number 1, Dustin Burkett back in. Number 11, Chris Anderson, a 5'10 junior. He'll check in as well as Biddy has to leave. Anderson will run the point. He'll pick up Matt Fraschilla on the front court. Fraschilla skip it out to Miller. Can't leave him right there. That's why.
Boy, nice reversal to Matt. From Matt to Will, and he's wide open and he splashes it home. Miller
with a quick 7. Scots lead it by 10, 17-7. Dustin Burkett averages 13.2 points per game, but he pumps it low to Alex James.
Good defense by Matt Wilson on that.
Got the missed attempt.
Oh.
Fraschilla found Wilson with a little bit of space there on the baseline, tried to pump it to him real quick, but it's out of bounds. We'll say howdy to number 5, Trey Garrison, the 6'4 senior. Matt Fraschilla will get a rest. Number 13, Ben Livingston, 6'1 senior. Sees his first action of the night, so it's Stiganga, Kahn, Livingston, Wilson, and Garrison on the floor for David Peeler's Highland Park Scots. That was a nice pass to Burkett.
Play.
Pretty assist by Anderson. Burkett's got his first 2 of the game. The Scots lead is 8, 17-9, with 30 seconds left in the first quarter. Stiganga gets some help from Wilson.
Well, they are hedging that ball screen really hard, and it's going to be that roll's going to be open off the reversal, I do believe, until they change what they're doing.
Fouled by Anderson. There'll be a sideline inbound. The Wildcats need to be in trouble, need to be a bit careful as TK Biddy, one of their point guards, already has 2 fouls, and Chris Anderson just picked up his first. It's the 4th team foul. 10 seconds left. Here comes Stiganga. Stiganga will take it up strong, off the glass. Offensive foul.
No. That's still a good sign to see Jake taking the ball to the basket hard like that. That's not a bad sign for the Scots.
HP with a 17-9 lead. And one of their better offensive first quarters of the year. Anderson through the trees. He'll float it up and in. And that's the final play of the first quarter. We'll head to the second with the Highland Park Scots leading the Plano Wildcats after 1, 17-11. At Texas Capital Bank, we're driven by an unwavering mission to serve Texas businesses and the entrepreneurs and families who run them. Since our beginning in 1998, we've grown into one of the state's largest independent banks, with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Texas Capital Bank is proud to support the Highland Park Scots and wishes the team great success this season. We'll also say hello for the first time to the Altshuler & Company Scots Mop Crew. Tonight it's Charlie and Will Terrell. Altshuler & Company is a real estate advisory services firm that features big ideas and flawless execution. Altshuler & Company, proud sponsors of the Scots Mop Crew. 17-11 after 1, and pretty good start for the Scotties thus far, Coach.
It is. It looks like they're off to a good start, kind of carrying over from what they did last weekend. This will be a tight game all the way through. You can count on it. The Wildcats are very physical, and they're going to be in the game just with their tenacity, if nothing else. The Scots looked sharp. They looked like they're playing with confidence, and some of that confidence was a little shaken after that McKinney game. So it's a good carryover from the Burke tournament.
We talked a little bit in the first quarter about outside shooting being a key element that the Scots need to find and install into their offense. They were finding it in that tournament last weekend, as in the last three, the Scots are shooting over 42% from beyond the arc.
That's a great sign because they got a good inside game with Fletcher and Murtha, so that's a good compliment to it.
Offensive foul, there's Chase Fletcher. He's taken his 19th of the season, and Chase Fletcher has drawn more charges than the entire Wildcat team coming into this one.
It's not surprising. Chase will hang in there, and he'll take a hit. It's a great example, great captain leadership right there that you see from Chase. Game in and game out, doesn't matter what the score is. He's willing to step in there and take a hit.
It's number 2, Chase Fletcher. Number 5, Trey Garrison. Number 11, Jake Stiganga. Number 52, Clayton Murtha. Number 13, Ben Livingston on the floor for the Highland Park Scots. 11-3 on the season. They played their last 5 away from the Highlander Fieldhouse. Their last home game was their big win against Flower Mound.
Got a little backcourt pressure, looked like trying to trap, and Scots handled that real well.
That win over the Jags 2 weeks ago. There's that hedge off the screen. There's that roll to the cup you talked about. It's like you know what you're doing here, Coach.
Yeah, well, we work on that. That's not something that just happens. They work on that a lot. Coach Peter really loves those layups.
O'Neal goes baseline, rises and hits.
That's a good drive. Avoided the charge inside by pulling up.
O'Neal's a player you have to watch out for shooting the threes. He's hit 13 on the season coming into this one. Plano has 3 players that have hit more than 10 three-pointers this year. So you got to watch out for him out on the wing. We haven't seen too much of that in this game, though. The Scots with a 6-point advantage about a minute and a half into the second quarter. Brian Sutcliffe, Coach David Clark. Glad you've joined us on what was a bit of a rainy, yucky day today. That hasn't kept the folks away from the Highlander Fieldhouse tonight, as the shot was too hefty by Trey Garrison. Here comes O'Neal into the front court. Anderson thought about the 3, thought better of it. That's the spot O'Neal likes. And Sheldon O'Neal hits the first 3-pointer of the game for Plano. There's a 30-second timeout taken by Coach David Peeler as Plano's pulled to within 3, 19-16, HP with the advantage. HP Basketball's annual Hoops and Hot Sauce Dinner and Auction is coming up. Be here before you know it, Friday, February 1st. For more information on tickets, underwriting, and auction donations, email hoopsandhotsauce@gmail.com.
Scots have got to be patient on offense. That was a good possession, that last possession for them. They just didn't have ended up with a good shot, and they kind of rushed things a little bit. But Coach Peeler's been really trying to get through to the guys that, you know, running an offense is a good thing. As long as you have it, they can't score. So keep working for a good shot. Got a little impatient there towards the end of that possession.
Matt Kreitz back into the game for the Scots. Will Miller in as well. You've got your starting 5 on the floor for the Scotties, who lead it by 3, 19-16.
Wildcats have gone to a 2-3 zone.
And Coach, until the Scots can show a really consistent threat from the outside, you might see more teams employing this as we get into district, which starts next Friday against Mesquite Poteet.
I totally agree. I think the Scots are going to have to step up and hit some outside shots.
There's Kreitz, came right from behind. Chris Anderson picked his pocket. Matthew Kreitz had 26 steals to lead the team coming into this game. When you include deflections and forced turnovers coming into this game, he's been involved in 55 turnovers this year.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Matthew's quickness is incredible.
5:30 left, second quarter, 19-16 Scots. They led 17-11 after the first.
This ought to be Chase.
There it is. They cleared him out on the baseline. He'll put it in high off the glass. That's trademark patience on offense, Coach.
That is. That's a little look they give that inside screener, and Chase was wide open. I've never seen that play not work, it seems like. Oh, there you go. Turnover
Pass
on the
too
other
hefty
end.
for Tecklenburg. HP forces the turnover. They turn their opponents over 15.1 times per game, which is the exact number they commit coming into this game.
going to force the Scots to be patient on offense in this 2-3 zone and hit some outside shots, and we'll see if they can do that. They saw a little 2-3 zone in Burke, so they should be ready.
They cleared Miller up in the corner. He missed it, and then Chase Fletcher just knocked it away from Broderick Perkins, then finds Matt Kreitz. His shot was blocked from behind, and Rayvon Smith has been quite the handful down low. That's his third block of the first half.
Well, Kreitz's quickness just really shows on his rebounding and also his moves to the basket. He looks good tonight. That same play again right there for Chase.
Fletcher now with 8 in the first half. He had a season-high 23 against Wichita Falls last weekend. Such a diverse player. He also has a 6-assist game, which is the most this year by a player not named Matt Fraschilla. And then it's Kreitz stripping it away from Burkett on his way up for what looked like it was going to be a bunny.
Boy, those quick hands coming through. Scots look good. They look like they're confident and playing real aggressively, offense and defense.
Perkins with the quick trigger, can't get it. And then Rayvon Smith fouls Matt Kreitz as he moved the other way in transition. 4:16 left first half. Highland Park leads Plano 23-16 in a battle of former Plano area rivals. David Peeler spent a few seasons at Plano West and would have done battle a couple of times per year with these Plano Wildcats.
Got a little trap coming out of that 2-3.
Sheldon O'Neal with a near turnover. Plano trailed the Colony by 11 at halftime on Tuesday, but then allowed only 18 points in the second half. So a pretty good second half team are these Wildcats. Looking good for the Scots thus far in the first half, as that Fletcher to Murtha combo doesn't work this time.
Boy, he had a little mismatch on the block there too. That's too bad.
Tough defense on the perimeter by Fraschilla, forcing Perkins to give it away to Rayvon Smith. Perkins steps in, shoots from about 12 feet, missed it.
Well, good board by Clayton there. Got a little tip and then went to get it himself.
Quickly ahead to Fletcher. There's a block. Sheldon O'Neal, the guilty party. And we'll have our first free throws of the game here.
Well, that's good. We need to make those, get that going. But that was a good take by Chase. Probably got bailed out a little bit. Looked like he wasn't in a great position to score, but it was definitely a block.
That's the 7th team foul, and the Scots are in the bonus for the rest of the half. Chase Fletcher on the season squarely at 50% this year. I think Chase will be the first guy to tell you that percentage needs to rise.
Boy, it sure does. As much as he's around the basket and he's going to get fouled a lot, he needs to be up around the 70s, I would think. And he's capable of doing that too. He's a good shooter, and he will get there by the end of the year.
Scots as a team shooting just over 59% from the line this year. Two for two goes Chase. He's in double figures.
Those look good. Good sign.
Looking at the stats this week, Coach, you compare this team to last, and there are a lot of statistics this year where this year's team is as good, if not better, than last year's. But it's free throw shooting and some of the easy points, the points at the line, and points from beyond the three-point line that have really been the difference this year, and it's resulted in about a 7-point reduction in points per game this year on the offensive end.
Right, and of course, you got to take David Allen out of the mix sometimes too, because he was a special player.
He was good at both of those things.
Both of those things he was pretty good.
And shooting the three.
So, you know, a lot of people are covering up for what David brought to the team last year, so that's a good sign.
Burkett will take it in. Good defense by Clayton Murtha. Ball's knocked off the Highland Park Scots. 3:08 left first half. Scots with a 9-point advantage, 25-16.
Well, they need to finish this quarter strong here.
They've outscored the Cats 8-5 in the second thus far. We hope you'll stick around with us at halftime as we'll have the Texas Capital Bank HP Scots one-on-one. A special guest with a special senior. HP forces the turnover.
It's good aggressive defense, jumping in the passing lane. Love to see that.
Under 3 minutes left. First half, HP by 9. Kreitz will pump it down. Mid-post left. That's just not fair.
That's a good move. That little step back, and then he takes it to the hole. That's great.
We've really seen a full array of low post moves from Chase this year.
Doing it all on a bad ankle, too. That's even more amazing.
HP by 11. Scott's defense has been suffocating here in the second. They've allowed only 5 points thus far. Back out to Burkett. He'll shoot the long two, missed it. Tough board, Will Miller. Immediately harassed by Jason Bargett. Showing the baseline. Range. Chase Fletcher has 14 first half points, and the Scots lead it by 13, 29-16.
Well, seeing him develop a mid-range game, he did a lot of that last year. That seems to be coming back a little bit. That's a great sign for the Scots.
Smith in the corner. Tries to get past Miller. You can't play on the ball defense on the baseline any better than Will Miller just did.
Well, that's a good job, forcing up a wild shot.
Use that sideline as an extra, the baseline as an extra defender. The Scots have taken control of this game as Miller strokes from the left elbow. And now it's Fletcher. Got the offensive rebound, but then was called for the travel.
Well, he went after that one. He kind of, if you were going to call a foul, he probably fouled Clayton Murtha going after the ball. He really wanted that offensive board. He must have shuffled his feet there after he got the board.
Plano is on a 5-game streak of shooting under 50% from the field, and they're well under 50% in this game. In some ways, Coach, Plano tries to employ a somewhat similar style to Highland Park. Play good defense, get good balanced contribution from a lot of different guys, but the Scotties have been much better at that game tonight.
I think that is their game. They're playing a little zone, and Scots must not be too scared of too many shooters. So we'll see. A nice slip by Chase.
Offensive foul. Chase taketh away, drawing the charges. He giveth there.
That's a nice slip. That when they're hedging hard on that screen, that's a great move. Just got to hit a jump stop and be ready to go up with it strong.
The Scots led by 6 after 1. They now lead by 13, 29-16, waning moments of the first half. Anderson gets it right back from O'Neal. Try the right wing three. Missed it off the back iron. Tapped up. 50-50 ball won by the Scots. Chase Fletcher with a tough board. He's having a great first half. Leads all scorers with 14 points.
I think the Scots will play for the last one right here.
15 seconds to go. Matt Fraschilla headed to Harvard. Nice baseline cut. Right hand floater. Offensive foul. This time it was Will Miller, the guilty party.
Well, you hate to see fouls, but those are good fouls. Those are aggressive, going to the basket. Love to see Will. He's already showed him that he can hit the outside shot and go into the basket hard. That's good. That's going to happen sometimes.
5 seconds left. Anderson will bring it over the timeline. Has his pocket picked by Matt Fraschilla. He'll turn and fire. Nearly got it. Just missed it to the left. And what a first half of play for the Highland Park Scots. They will head to the halftime locker room, leading the Plano Senior High Wildcats 29-16. At Texas Capital Bank, we're driven by an unwavering mission to serve Texas businesses and the entrepreneurs and families who run them. Since our beginning in 1998, we've grown into one of the state's largest independent banks, with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Texas Capital Bank is proud to support the Highland Park Scots and wishes the team great success this season. And Texas Capital Bank also brings us our HP Scots one-on-one segment, and this week, we took some time with senior captain Matt Wilson.
Welcome to this edition of the Texas Capital Bank HP Scots One-on-One. I'm pleased to be joined today by senior captain Matt Wilson. Matt, thanks so much for joining us. We talked with Matt Fraschilla and Chase Fletcher, the other senior captains on this team, about the experience of being a senior captain and what it means to them. Give us some of your thoughts on that special role and how you've taken advantage of it thus far this year.
Well, it's definitely an honor because there have been so many great captains before us, and we we just hope to continue the tradition of great captainship and continuing the role of the leaders that they were, and we're really trying to extend that to our team this year. And we just try to be not necessarily the vocal leaders. I mean, we tend to be the vocal leaders, but mainly our actions in practice. Working hard. Working hard outside of practice. And that's really what we try to do to lead by example for the younger kids on the team.
Well, you've certainly been showing leadership on the floor. Last week against McKinney, you had season highs in minutes, points, and rebounds. Tell us a little bit about your comfort level at both ends of the floor here 14 games into the season.
Yeah, that game definitely gave me a lot of confidence. We were obviously getting beat pretty badly, but so I felt that I was just going to go in there and just play hard, and good things rolled my way. So I'm just playing hard, giving it my all, and hopefully good things continue to happen.
Hard to believe we're already right at the brink of the district season starting next week. Now, the Scots haven't lost a district game in over a year. You're defending district champions. How does this team feel right now about its condition to perhaps repeat as district champion as we're here a week away from league play?
We feel really confident because we've played a lot of good teams over this non-district season. We played lots of 5A teams. Plano's another really good 5A team that we're playing tonight. And so we feel that that's really prepared us well for the district season coming up. And we're just going to put everything behind us. We'll learn from what we've done wrong in the previous games, but we're going in 0-0 going into next week. So that's our mindset.
I'm sure most of our viewers know that you're pretty good at baseball as well. Very good on the basketball court, but you've been known to sling the pill a little bit. National Signing Day was a few weeks ago. It was a big day for you and your family. Remind all of us out there where you're going to be heading and what helped you make your decision.
I'm going to Oklahoma State University in Stillwater, Oklahoma, and I got the coaches from Oklahoma State came and watched me this summer play a little bit, and they started – got a couple phone calls, started talking to them a lot, and I went up there on a visit, and I fell in love with what they had to offer and what they were going to do to transform the program, and that I did my homework on them as coaches, and they all had very, very impressive backgrounds, so that was definitely helpful in making my decision.
Well, guys like me in high school hated guys like you because you're excellent at basketball, an amazing baseball player, but in all seriousness, good luck. Congratulations on heading to Oklahoma State. Congratulations on your great career here at Highland Park. Keep it up, and we'll hope you'll join us again before the end of the season.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks so much to Matt Wilson. It's halftime here at the Highlander Fieldhouse. Scots and Plano Wildcats. After this, we'll have the third quarter of play. You're watching Highland Park Scots varsity basketball.
This presentation is brought to you by HPTV. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor this unique TV station, please email Mrs. Kelly Snowder at snowdeckwithak@hpasd.org. And from all of us here at HPTV, we thank you for watching.
Welcome back to the Highlander Fieldhouse. 29-16 is the halftime score here from the campus of Highland Park High School. I'm Brian Sutcliffe. To my right, Coach David Clark. And Coach, it's the third time in the last 5 games the Scots defense has allowed fewer than 10 points in the second quarter. They outscored the Wildcats 12-5 in the second. Things are looking good at halftime.
Scots are playing well on both ends of the floor. Defense always comes for the Scots, and they've gone to a lot of zone and try to say, you're going to have to make an outside shot. And the Wildcats haven't done it yet. They haven't looked like they're going to score consistently from the outside. So looks pretty good. Offensive end, we're getting a lot of pick and rolls open in the paint. So I'd say things are looking pretty well. Good first half for the Scots.
Chase Fletcher with 14 first half points, 10 of those in the second quarter. Pretty good for a guy with a bum ankle.
It is really, and there really was a chance he wasn't going to play tonight. So he's looking really good, and nice to see him back like that.
Chase Fletcher was the game's leading scorer through the first 16 minutes of play. He had 14 points, 10 in the second quarter. Matt Kreitz had 2. Will Miller with 7, all in the first quarter. Derek Kahn with 2, and Clayton Murtha with 4. For the Wildcats of Plano, they've been carried for the most part by Sheldon O'Neal, the 6-foot senior. 8 first half points. Destin Burkett with 2. Broderick Perkins with 4. Chris Anderson with a pair. So the Scotties will head on out after a impressive gymnastics show here at halftime.
Really was nice to see, though. We see a lot of them at pep rallies, and And every time it's made your mouth hang open because just what those kids do is amazing. You know, Brian, this first 5 minutes of this quarter is really huge. I mean, right now you got the Scots playing with a lot of confidence, 13-point lead. They come out there and they play as well as they did in the first half. I think Plano's going to feel like it's just not their night. So we'll see what happens in the first 5 minutes of this quarter.
When leading at halftime, the Scots coming into this one 8-1. It's an impressive record. The Scots have been a very good first half team.
They have been, and the third quarters have been really key for them too. They got a great opportunity to extend this lead a little bit, and you know when you have a 13-point lead, it's make a couple of shots and all of a sudden it's inside of 10, and the momentum, you might lose a little momentum, but you make a couple of shots and before you know it, it's a 20, and that's a momentum shifter the other way.
The Scotties exploded for a season high 23 points in the third quarter in the Burke-Burnett championship game against White House. As the Scots rolled to a 68-41 win in that one. And we'll take a minute to congratulate you on your hard-earned JV win here in the preliminary game here before this one tonight. Well done.
Thank you. That was a good win. I was real proud of my kids.
There's two guys from that team that you had to deal with in the JV game that Coach Parlin is waiting for to move up to the varsity. A couple of guys that they have to wait to become eligible because of transfers from Plano East. One of those guys was 6'11".
He was 6'11", and a JV level is something we don't see very often.
You probably don't game plan for that too frequently, right?
Our guys, I mean, they really stepped up and played well and weren't intimidated at all. They just did a super job. They had a couple of great athletes out there. A lot of our kids play on the same select team with some of those kids, so they knew who they were and made it a little more intense, I think, in the end. But it was fun. My guys played great. I'm real proud of them.
We've got the starting lineups back onto the floor for both teams as Plano shows some pressure off the jump, and Sheldon O'Neal gets the steal, left that layup very short. Sam Tecklenburg missed the putback, and Fraschilla to the trailer. Chase Fletcher tried to throw it down, but it comes back out to Miller, and Kreitz leaves his little jumper short. So a little bit of willy-nilly play both ways here to start things out in the third.
Boy, Plano got real aggressive on that first possession where they came out and tried to double Fraschilla in the backcourt, kind of caught the Scots a little bit by surprise. Scots couldn't convert that 3-on-none fast break at the other end either. That's too bad. And Kreitz had a nice look, couldn't finish.
And Broderick Perkins came to the other end and scored and was fouled. It's the second foul against number 20, Will Miller. He's out with number 52, Clayton Murtha, number 10, Matthew Kreitz. Number 2, Chase Fletcher. Number 3, Matt Fraschilla. That was the first free throw attempted in the game by Plano. There have only been 3 shot in the entire game. Combined for both teams. The Scots lead by 11, 35 seconds into the third. I'm Brian Sutcliffe with Coach David Clark. Little turnaround 3. Scots are leaving those shots from the right side short here in the third. You got to account for the wind a little bit, I guess.
I think the air conditioning must be blowing from this side, but absolutely. You know, this referee crew is one that will really let the kids play, so you won't see a lot of ticky-tacky fouls called. So that's a good thing as far as for the continuity of the game.
There's another 3 hit by Sheldon O'Neal. His last two field goals are triples. He's got 11 points, and the Scots lead is 8, 29-21. As we mentioned before halftime, this Plano team was down by 11 to the Colony squad on Tuesday, but came back allowing only 18 points in the entire second half to win that one, 57-54, and what might be the key win of the year for Coach Parlin's Wildcats. Pretty good 9-5 team this year, bouncing back from that 6-22 campaign a season ago, but they were a 21 team the year before that, so bit of a jaggedy win line for the last few years.
This is what, you know, you got to watch this in these first 5 minutes of the third. They've got it inside of 10, so they got a lot of momentum right now, and the Scots need to take it right back.
Perkins tries to pin Fraschilla to the sideline. Rayvon Smith came over to double. Plano's defense will reset. Fraschilla bounce it down to Fletcher. He was fouled on his way up. We'll see if they give it to Rayvon Smith.
Well, nice give and go on the roll again off the ball screen.
They gave it to Dustin Burkett. Teams with a foul apiece. 6:33 left, third quarter. Scots lead the Plano Wildcats 29-21.
You know, and Chase and Matthew have been doing that since 7th grade, so it's not like they haven't practiced that pick and roll before.
Chase now with 15 as Rayvon Smith checks out. He's replaced by number 13, Jason Bargett. Sophomore on the squad. Chase goes 1 for 2 this time. The Scots are 3 for 4 in the game. All 4 free throws have been shot by Fletcher. Just a wild drive by Broderick Perkins, but he earns a trip to the free throw line.
Right, kind of got bailed out that time by the official, but that's probably a good call. Chase got him with the body.
That's 3 fouls against Chase Fletcher.
That could be a real issue. They're probably going to have to sit him for a little bit.
Second team foul against the Scots. It's Broderick Perkins to the line where he's a 77% free throw shooter, but he misses the first of 2. That'll bring Matt Wilson into the game. Chase leaves with a game-high 15 points. Matt Wilson, who joined us during the halftime HP Scots one-on-one. We're glad Matt joined us. Had his best game of the year last Tuesday against McKinney.
You know, Matt's a great kid. He takes all AP classes. He's as smart as he can be and a great athlete.
It's an 8-point lead for the Scots. Pass to the block was intercepted by Sheldon O'Neal. Quickly the other way, Bargett hits the 2.
Well, here they come. The Scots got to answer right now. They tried to hit Will Miller on the block, a little bit of a long diagonal. Hard to do that against this kind of quickness. Still trying to trap in the backcourt.
There's Murtha. Will find help from Fraschilla. This time the pass works. The lefty, Matt Wilson, into the game and into the scorebook. He's got his first 2. Scots back up by 8.
That was a little bit shorter pass, but same idea that Matthew had last time down the floor.
Bargett can hit that 3. Off the back iron, long run out. Here comes Miller. Miller will go right past O'Neal. Lay it in with the right hand.
Well, he protected that ball with his body and then was able to finish after the defender ran by.
First points of the game for Miller since the first quarter. He's got 9. The Scots lead is grown back to double digits, 34-24.
Scott's gone back to man. Probably help on that closeout on those outside shooters.
Scots have done a great job bottling up Dustin Burkett. Averaged 13 points per game coming into this one. He has only 2. Broderick Perkins has been another matter. He has 9. Sheldon O'Neal has 11. Those 2 guys have combined for 20 of Plano's 26 points.
Perkins is a nice lefty. He does a nice little teardrop when he drives the paint. He's a good little shooter.
If TK Bitty's the player that is supposed to be playing instead of Perkins, then the Scots may be enjoying the fact that he hasn't played much in this one. Picked up a couple early fouls.
Yeah, Perkins looks pretty good. You don't play a lot of left-handed point guards very much, so. Well, Matt trying to thread the needle with that one.
And you wonder if you'd like to see Matt take that shot. You know, he had a good look there.
I think he's going to have to. He's going to have to shoot that ball, feel confident that he can make it. Those people are going to sag off of him because he's such a great passer.
Perkins, little showboat move, finds O'Neal on the wing. He'll rise, leave the shot short. Rebound Wilson, up ahead to Will Miller. Look out, and one! Great job by Will Miller to invite the contact.
And nice pass by Matt Wilson. Came up with the loose ball and saw Miller streaking down the middle and quickly got him the ball where he had a chance to adjust to the defense.
First foul against Broderick Perkins. That's the second team foul. And there's a timeout on the floor with 3:53 left in the third. The Highland Park Scots lead the Plano Wildcats 36-26. HP Basketball's annual Hoops and Hot Sauce Dinner and Auction is coming up Friday, February 1st. For more information on tickets, underwriting, and auction donations, email hoopsandhotsauce@gmail.com. Hard to believe, Coach, that we're already at the brink of district play. The Scots will play their first league game of the season next Friday. It'll be a matinee affair as the Scots will welcome the Poteet Pirates to the Highlander Fieldhouse. It'll be a 4:30 p.m. tip. We'll have the broadcast starting about 4:25.
that's always a weird game too when they play it right before Christmas break, and the kids have had exams for 4 days, and they've still been practicing. But you know they're spent mentally. They're a little spent when they come out there. But it should be fun to get a nice afternoon game. I bet we'll have a good crowd out there from people leaving school. So it'd be a lot of fun to open up that against Poteet, and it'll be a fun game for the Scots.
The Scots are 4 for 5 at the line in this game. They'll take 80% all day long. And the lead is back to 11, 37-26. Rayvon Smith is checked back in for Phil Parlin's Plano Wildcats. Perkins wants a screen. And they'll find Burkett on the baseline. Found a little bit of space, take it up strong. Looked like it might have been blocked, but a foul is called. And Burkett strides to the line.
They got Clayton for that. Got a little bit out of position, had to try to block from behind, and that's almost an automatic call when you do that.
Dustin Burkett, a 73% free throw shooter, as Ben Livingston and Jake Stiganga get set to rejoin the fray. 3:31 left in the third. Scots lead it by 11 after Burkett misses the first of 2. Miller and Kreitz leave for Highland Park. Scots hoping to push their season-long winning streak to 5. That was one of the things that Coach Snowden talked about before the White House game was, guys, we hadn't won 4 in a row yet this year, and that was a motivating factor as Burkett has just his 3rd point of the game.
Get a little backcourt trap, and Scots handled it very well. Well, I'm not sure that Jake had gotten all 3 points across, but the referee saw it a little bit differently and got a little backcourt violation on that.
Chris Anderson, the junior, will come take the basketball. Rayvon Smith's got a lot of length. We've seen him. He blocked 3 shots in the first half. Number 15 for the maroon-clad Wildcats.
Scots have gone back to zone, trying to force something outside, trying to give anything in the paint.
Stiganga helps out on Perkins, nearly forces the steal. Livingston comes all the way out to the wing to battle with Smith. They'll pump it into Barjett, throws it wildly up, he missed it. And there's a loose ball foul against Plano.
Well, Ben had good position on that backside block for that way air ball long, and got fouled trying to get the rebound.
Second foul against Dustin Burkett, team's 3rd. 2:49 left, 3rd quarter. Scots lead at 37-27.
About to see a little 1-2-2 trap here. Try to trap the corners. See if the Scots get the ball in the middle and be able to reverse it and go score on transition.
Sheldon O'Neal's back into the game, the leading scorer in this one for Plano. He has 11 points. His last 2 field goals are 3s.
Good job.
Derek Kahn, number 44, in for the Scotties. Like Jake had a lane to the basket there, a little maybe too unselfish that time.
A little bit of an overpass there, I think.
Here's O'Neal. Now Burkett. Pair of Scots collapsing down, and Jake Stiganga gets the steal. Quickly into the front court for Livingston. Wide open, little baseline jumper, Derek Kahn.
Derek has such a great mid-range game. He's stretching it out a little bit this year to hit those 3s, but he's really a good shooter from, anywhere from 5 to 15. He can really knock it down.
Very consistent player. His season high is 11, but he's done it 4 times.
He'll get you double figures and some limited minutes sometimes too, that he'll come off and really be a spark.
Burkett nearly hit the line drive 3, last touched by the Scots. 1:51 left, 3rd quarter. Scots leading 39-27. 11 of Plano's 27 points came in the first quarter.
Scots have played, as they do most nights, they play great defense, and they're going to force something from the outside. It's going to be real hard to get the ball in the paint for the Wildcats.
Number 33, Alex James, the 6'7 junior, is back into the game. Looked like he was maybe thinking about dunking that basketball, but he lost it.
Lost the handle, had a real nice wide open look and just couldn't grab it.
Skip it over to Smith. Smith flashes to the baseline. Lost it.
Thing must be slippery or something. Everybody's kind of bobbling it around right last few possessions.
Teams with 3 fouls apiece. Chase Fletcher leads all scorers with 15. Will Miller not far behind. He's got 12.
Well, Matthew split the double team.
No look, wide open. Derek Kahn 3-ball.
Oh.
Fighting for the rebound. It's going the other way.
Well, Matt Frischella came around the outside and just knocked it away. Almost got away with a little pickpocket right there.
Second foul on Frischella. Heading to Harvard. Congratulations to Matt.
That is so exciting for Matt and the whole family. I know they're really, really pumped up about that.
There's Wilson. He's having a great game in the minutes he's had. Frischella, the bounce pass, gets the defender in the air, but he walked. Unlucky there for Matt Wilson.
It's like one official was going to call a foul and the other one called travel. And travel won. Good turnover, though, getting a nice steal by Wilson in the middle.
Alex James is quickly double-teamed, but he finds Rayvon Smith. Sheldon O'Neal trying from the left corner. Toilet bowls out. We're saying Matt Wilson's name a lot.
You know, these are valuable minutes Matt's getting with Chase on the bench, that's for sure.
Ben Livingston stepped on the sideline. According to the near side official, stops the clock with just under 45 ticks to go, third quarter. Highland Park 39, Plano 27.
They can just hang on here in the last 45 seconds. They will have really taken a real good punch from the Wildcats and hung on and really just held their own in this third quarter, which is great. That's all you need to do when you have a double-digit lead.
Chris Anderson thought about the three. He'll crank the 15-footer. A little too hefty. Matt Wilson, another board. Frischella will slam on the brakes. Looks up at the clock, sees he can hold for the last shot if he wants to.
I think they'll try to do just that.
Livingston jousts with O'Neal. 10 seconds.
Here they go.
Frischella from the jump circle. Moves right off a Wilson pick. He'll take it up, throws it up. He's fouled. And he'll shoot his first free throws of the game.
It's nice to see Matt trying to go in there and finish himself. That's good. He's a good free throw shooter. And right as the clock's winding down, get a nice look at like that.
Second on Chris Anderson, the team's fourth. Matt Frischella was second in the area in assists last year at 7.6. He's at 8.7 assists per game this year.
He is unbelievable in passing the basketball, and I think that's one of the things that Harvard really liked about the kid. That and his great leadership and tenacity of the way he plays the game.
He pots both free throws and gets a break for his efforts as Matthew Kreitz comes back in. And the Scots now 6 for 7 at the line, having one of their best free throw shooting games of the year. Anderson quickly will throw it up, and it goes! Maximum English on that shot. That thing looked like it was on the bottom side of the rim when it hit. It rolled up and over and in, and he'll shoot a free throw with no time left.
Boy, you hate to see a guy go coast to coast like that with the clock running out. Got to stop the ball, and certainly don't foul in that situation.
Chris Anderson with a bit of flair to end the third quarter, and we're on our way to the fourth. The Highland Park Scots led by 13 at halftime, still with a comfortable 11-point edge, 41-30. At Texas Capital Bank, we're driven by an unwavering mission to serve Texas businesses and the entrepreneurs and families who run them. Since our beginning in 1998, we've grown into one of the largest independent banks in the state, with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Texas Capital Bank is proud to support the Highland Park Scots and wishes the team great success this season. Scotty's looking to head into district play with a head of steam. Tried to make it 5 wins in a row. So far, so good through 3 against Plano, 41-30.
Scots held their own in that quarter, and that's about all you need to do when you're up 13.5. You just don't want the opponent to get any kind of momentum. They scored the first 5 points of the quarter, got it down to 8, and then the Scots responded real well. That shows a lot of character, a lot of guts, and a lot of confidence. A lot of that confidence coming from last weekend's successful West Texas trip. Now you get Chase back in the game with those 3 fouls, and again, that was valuable minutes by Matt Wilson that he gave the guys. Really was productive, and now you really don't have to worry too much about Chase fouling out.
Your starting 5 back on the floor for the Scotties. Number 3, Matt Frischella. Number 10, Matthew Kreitz. Number 52, Clayton Murtha. Number 20, Will Miller. And number 2, Chase Fletcher.
Scott's back in their zone.
O'Neal bounces to Tecklenburg, double team quickly. Back out to O'Neal.
Just think the Wildcats are going to have to hit some outside shots to get back in this thing.
Tecklenburg, the starting post player, averaging 5 points per game. That's his first 2 of this one. Shot was short by Kreitz. The junior big man, Clayton Murtha, gets that miss. Got his own miss again, but lost it out of bounds. Important couple minutes here for the Scots as it's now a 9-point lead.
Again, it all gets to be that critical time where you just can't let them get any momentum. Scott's still in their zone.
Into Burkett, found Tecklenburg. It went off Will Miller's face. And a nice turnout by Plano fans as well as the normal Scots contingent. A pretty good barn in here tonight. O'Neal right side. That was on line, but he missed it. A little short.
Good block out by Clayton Murtha. Grabbed the big defensive board there.
Fletcher skipped to Kreitz. Sheldon O'Neal comes around from behind and picks up his 3rd foul. Fifth team foul against Plano. 5 fouls against the Highland Park Scots. Over a minute into the 4th, Scots lead 41-32. Free up, top of the key, 3-ball, money!
Will Miller, boy, he loves that shot. That set play off the sideline inbound, and Miller got a nice look and splashed it home.
Will Miller with 15 points. Scots back up by 12. Burkett swoops and scores.
It's a nice shot inside by Burkett.
Scots by 10. Matthew Kreitz with a left hand. Dump it to the right block for Murtha. Offensive foul. Nice play by Tecklenburg to get into the lane and draw the offensive foul.
Well, it's one thing to try to get in there and get to the paint like that, but you just got to be careful. Hit a quick jump stop, go straight up, and try to either finish or dish. But sometimes your momentum carries you right into that defender, and he's doing his job by trying to draw the charge.
The Altshuler and Company Scots mop crew doing their thing. Charlie and Will Terrell manning the mops tonight. Nearly holiday time, meaning you start to see some HP alumni in the building. Saw Blake Hobby in here earlier today. I bet we'll see a Barnes boy or two in the house before the holiday season is over.
Yeah, Andrew was playing a little pickup basketball today after school, so he's around, I know.
Well, you need to get him up here.
Wearing his Aggie, all that Aggie paraphernalia.
That's what he needs to be wearing. I'll betray my allegiance. Perkins into double figures. Missed the second. They gave that foul to Will Miller. It's his 3rd. The scoreboard says he's got 5, but he is still very much in the game, which means he does not have 5.
He's still standing out there. That's a good sign.
Either that or somebody hadn't picked up on it yet.
Yeah, not yet.
That's home court advantage.
Right.
It should just be 3 for Will. Scots by 9, 44-35, 5.5 minutes remaining in the 4th. Over to Miller. He'll stroke the long 2, and Will Miller's got it locked on tonight.
That's a great dish, again, getting into the paint and making that kick out. And Will knocks it down.
Back up to 11. Plano's been pretty good at not allowing the Scotties to really run away with this one, but they haven't been able to get much closer than 8 or 9 points in the second half.
Boy, another good job. Clayton Murtha's working so hard down there on that defensive glass. Got backcourt pressure again. Let's see if they're going to trap out of it. Just full court. Yeah, they're going to trap. Got to get the ball in the middle.
That's without too much trouble that time. Miller will battle with Burkett. Foul called away from the ball. It'll be against Burkett. His third foul, the team's sixth. The Scots have committed 7, so both teams will be in the penalty for the rest of the second half. Chris Anderson leaves along with Sam Tecklenburg. We'll say hello again to number 15, Rayvon Smith. Number 12, Fred Williams, a 6'3" senior, seeing some action here in the fourth. Miller swings away from Burkett and finds Fletcher. Fletcher versus Smith. 4:40 left in the fourth. Scots by 11, 46-35. Fraschilla, the team leader in minutes played, averaging over 27 minutes per game.
Boy, he is the straw that stirs the drink if ever there was one. He's got to be on the floor. Running a little clock. This is good. When you got the ball, they can't score.
Hand it off to Will. Miller, strong drive. Great dish. Murtha for 2.
Oh, that's pretty assist.
Murtha with 6, coming the other way. Perkins with a pretty glide to the basket, but he couldn't finish it. Scott's up 13, ready to land a haymaker.
Being very patient. This is good. The clock's your friend right now when you got a double-digit lead and really got a lot of things going for you right now. Got a little momentum, and they can't score when you have the ball, so it's a good thing.
Murtha will hand it off to Kreitz. Very patient are the Highland Park Scots, leading 48-35. As Coach David Peeler rises, give Kreitz and Murtha some instructions. What's normally so devastating about these lengthy possessions for the Scots is that they normally end in points. And this one ends with a foul, and Chase Fletcher will shoot free throws.
Should be a 1-on-1. That's great. That's a great possession for the Scots. Used a lot of clock. Now I got a chance to score with an uncontested shot here. This ought to be good.
TK Bitty back in. As Chase Fletcher goes to the line. He is 3 for 4 at the line in this game. It was short.
Got Claytonford reaching over the back, trying to get a little tap on the offensive glass.
And we'll go to the other end and try free throws. It's not what the Scots want. You don't want Plano with an opportunity to score with the clock not moving.
Exactly.
Third foul against the junior, Clayton Murtha. And that shot's missed. So no harm done at either end of the floor. 3 minutes left. Scots by 13, only 35 points for Plano.
Finish. Oh, that might be intentional. He grabbed him pretty strong. Coach Peeler wants an intentional. I think they're going to talk about it. It may be. It is.
An intentional foul.
2 shots in the ball. You know, when you can shoot the outside shot, they close out and you go by them. Sometimes that's all you can do is grab them and hope they won't make an and one.
Fourth foul against Dustin Burkett, who has only 5 points. This is a guy with multiple double-digit scoring games. And you put probably your best free throw shooter at the line. Miller now with 18 points. He's getting close to his career varsity high of 22.
Will had a game for me last year where I think he had about 28 or 29 points. He was 11 for 11 from the field and was just, he can go off and just really light it up.
There's another tough low post move. And to the line goes Chase Fletcher.
Well, that's making them pay for that intentional right there. Free throws.
This could be a 5-point trip and really end all doubt in this one as the Scots now lead it by 15. That's the 19th foul against Plano. And a very costly possession for the Plano Wildcats.
Really was, and that's just kind of a little bit of losing your poise when somebody beats you off the bounce and you end up grabbing them and getting a call like that. So, boy, they just talked us. Should have been a lane violation on the Wildcats, but the referees are saying it was their bad.
Fletcher with 17 points. He'll try to make it 18. Got it.
Timeout, Scots.
And the Highland Park Scots in the game are 9 for 11 at the free throw line.
Well, that's a great sign. Get that going, and you know, they're all good shooters. There's no real explanation for them to struggle at the line early. These guys work hard at the line at practice, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be shooting in the high 70s and at the line. And I'm glad to see a good night. Let's hope they can finish it out.
The Scots went 8 for 8, strangely enough, in their loss to Midlothian. They were 100% in that game, but this one shaping up to be their second best free throw shooting game of the season. 9 for 11 for the Scotties with 2:50 left, leading by 18, 53 to 35. It's got to be a frustrating experience to go up against this Highland Park team. You know that possessions are going to be at a premium, and to what extent, Coach, does that force you to force things on offense when you know you're just not going to get that many chances?
Sometimes that's really true. I mean, the Scots are going to play a lot of half-court action. You're going to really have to value the ball and convert a high percentage of your possessions, and you know, that happens a couple of different ways. You not only shoot at a high percentage, but you can't turn the ball over. You turn the ball over, that Scots are going to try to score in transition. If they don't, they're going to run some clock, and they're going to make it real tough for you to score. And again, that thing that Coach Peeler says all the time, as long as we have the ball, they can't score. So he's trying to get the kids to be as patient as they can on offense.
The Plano Wildcats have lost 5 games this season, but none of them were by more than 12 points. And that includes a 7-point loss to a very good Denton Geyer squad, who's a state-ranked 4A team. They're
a good ball club. That's one of those quality losses, if there is such a thing. Scots have gone man, pressure a little bit, ball pressure, take away the 3.
As Plano's getting some of their reserves into the action. Number 32, Zach Morrow, seeing his first action of the day. And Plano turns it over. So it looks like the Scots are going to get this one, leading by 18 with 2:15 to go. You never say never, but with no shot clock, a team that protects the ball as well as the Scotties do.
They're going to pull it out and probably just play the rest of the game at the foul line, and we'll see if Plano will foul.
And the Scots will think nothing of draining 2 minutes off this clock.
No, they can do that with their eyes closed. Up, got it wide open. Chase Fletcher.
That's one way you can go. Chase Fletcher has 20, and the Scots lead it by 20, 55 to 35 off another assist from Matt Fraschilla.
Coach Peeler called timeout to get some of the reserves in. This is really a great opportunity, up 20, and a chance to play some guys that really contributed over the weekend too.
Crowd favorite Stevie Smathers, number 12, the 6'1 senior, and along with a couple of the sophomores, Ryan Brady, number 14, and Mitchell Kaufman, number 4. Looks like Ben Livingston and Trey Garrison will come into the game as well. So the Scots looking good for win number 12. And they're winning big lately, Coach. Their last 5 wins have been by at least 11 points. And it's another quality win when we're going over the records to date for the non-district opponents for the Scots this year. The Scots opponents this season are winning games at a 62% clip. So when you look at it from a perspective of overall record, this is probably one of the toughest non-district schedules Coach Peeler has put his guys through, and they're about to be 12-3.
That's great. And you know, you and I talked in the very first game of the year about trying to replace some really key players on offense and defense for the Scots. And David Allen, of course, was such a contributor, and it's going to take a whole bunch of guys to really step up to do it. And we said that night, and we're kind of seeing the process, the growing process through this game.
We've had a great crew bringing this one to you live and in color at US Education TV. Our producer, Kelly Snowden. Our director, Drew Allman. That guy does everything. He was using a ladder, much to everyone's terror, during the JV game to get one of the dunk cams working properly. William Planey on the graphics. Connor Palacios on the floor. Alex Kramer on the high cam. The crew doing a terrific job. We hope you appreciate all the work these guys are doing here, because they're here early, they stay late. some great experience for these folks, bringing you a professional broadcast. Oh. 1 minute left. The Scots up by 20.
These guys, you know, come in, they're going to play just as hard as they can. These guys work their tails off in practice and really tried to give the starters a good look at what the Wildcats were going to do. So it's nice to see them get a chance to play in a game. I don't know that they really thought they were going to get a chance to play, so this is cool.
Well, we do want to remind you, this is a good Plano team. You know, the Scots have handled them pretty easily here, but it's a 9-win squad. This is a team that the Scots could face in the Plano Avery Air Invitational in a couple weeks. Could also get another shot at Jesuit. Richardson's in that bracket, so some familiar faces in that tournament, but it'll be the Scots and Irving in the opener on Thursday, the 27th. We'll have a little more information about that one during our next broadcast, but the Scots will enter that next broadcast at 12-3. They have defeated the Plano Wildcats 55-35. HP moves to 12-3 on the season. Phil Parlin's Plano Wildcats taste defeat for the 6th time this year. They are now 9-6. Chase Fletcher was the leading scorer in the game. He had 20 points. Matt Fraschilla with 2. Matthew Kreitz with 2. Great game for Will Miller, the senior, making the most of his varsity season. 19 points for Will Mill. Matt Wilson with 2. Derek Kahn with 4. And Clayton Murtha with 6. So, Coach, you wondered the week off or 6 days off. The Scots played so well in Burke Burnett, you wondered if the time off would be a detriment, but they kept that high level of play right into this one and rolled over the Plano Wildcats.
They sure did. Scots played very, very well tonight. I was very impressed and happy to see it. You know, they came back from Burke with a lot of confidence and just really kept it going. I think they kind of found themselves. They kind of found their identity. Sometimes that happens when you get away from home and the students and get together. You bond a little bit. And I think they're coming together as a team, and we knew it was going to take a little time. They're really playing well. They're doing a lot of things well that they weren't doing earlier in the year. They reduced their turnovers tremendously from where they were last year or last week, and so I think they're playing a little better and playing with a lot of confidence, which I think is so important in basketball.
Well, the Highland Park Scots are the defending District 10 4A champions. They ran the table in district last season. It's been over a year since the Scotties have been beaten in a single district game. Well, they'll get things going next Friday against the Poteet Pirates. Do you think this team is ready to defend that championship?
Oh, I think they are, and I'll tell you, this is a tough district. There are some really quality teams in our district, so it should be a very, very interesting district season, and it'll start right off the bat next Friday night or Friday afternoon with Poteet.
The Poteet Pirates will invade the Highlander Fieldhouse for a 4:30 tip next Friday, December 21st. A little basketball right before we go our separate ways for a holiday break. We hope you'll join us. We'll have the broadcast starting at about 4:25. We want to remind you that at Texas Capital Bank, we're driven by an unwavering mission to serve Texas businesses and the entrepreneurs and families who run them. Since our beginning in 1998, we've grown into one of the state's largest independent banks with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio. Texas Capital Bank is proud to support the Highland Park Scots and wishes the team great success this season. We want to thank the folks at Texas Capital Bank along with the parents of the 2012-2013 Highland Park Scots for making this broadcast possible. 55-35 is the final HP over Plano. Coach Clark, great job. Let's do it again next week.
Sounds good to me. I'm looking forward to it.
Until then, I'm Brian Sutcliffe. We'll see you next week. So long, everybody.
This presentation is brought to you by HPTV. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor this unique TV station, please email Mrs. Kelly Snowder at snowdeckwithak@hpasd.org. And from all of us here at HPTV, we thank you for watching.